Between this and that is the mass of consciousness, which is the essential nature of all beings. Previously I suggested that this and that is our experience of an internal world and our experience of an external world. And we're told that between this and that is the body of consciousness. And here it's described as the mass of consciousness. And it'd be good if we can focus on it. It'd be good if we can let the gravitational pull of this mass draw us to it. It's the sense of me, not the idea of me. It's the sense of you as you feel you are right now. And when you start playing around with your attention, you can direct your attention to what would be called internal phenomena. I think you would call internal phenomena perhaps the sensation of the seat that you're sitting on right now, maybe the sensation of your breathing, and you would call external phenomena, perhaps this video, you would describe it as external. Sounds that you can hear, my voice, you would describe it as external. So you're making that distinction. My voice and my image are actually happening right at the core of your being. You're not hearing something out there. Your hearing is happening right within your being right now. And you construct a story about how that sound gets there from this hypothetical external world, which becomes your sole focus. So your attention can move between notions of internal and notions of external, and you make that discrimination. You make that discrimination between this and that. But what is making that discrimination? It's your very own consciousness. It's this very sense of being that you have right now. This sense of being a particular identity. This sense of being something that is experiencing. That is your ultimate nature. You are experiencing. So try experiencing without thinking, just experiencing. This is your consciousness. This is the mass of consciousness. You don't have to shut anything out, because everything is happening within this mass of consciousness. So accept it all. Be open to it all. Don't divide it into internal and external. It's the one infinite field of experiencing. That's the mass of consciousness. So here we're not thinking about the body as one big sense organ which mediates our inner experience with external experience. The body is a notion, but now we're coming deeper to the mass of consciousness. And that consciousness is just that openness to everything. The realization of that consciousness is openness to everything that's going on, without dividing it into internal, this or that, or any other discrimination we might make between me and the world, between waking and dreaming, between body and mind. So this mass of consciousness is the essential nature of all beings. In fact, it's all there is. There's not even all beings. That's all notional. So we go beyond notions of this being and that being, of me and you. So this and that can also be me and you. But we go beyond that. We've just got the openness of the immediate field of experiencing. That is the supreme state of the self. Between this and that is that infinite space, which is the mass of consciousness, in which everything is firmly established. So instead of thinking about the body, we come back to the field of experiencing, and we're completely open. This is the infinite space. Everything is happening within this space of consciousness. It can be small, it can be big. It accommodates everything. Everything is firmly established in it. Whatever is that mass of consciousness, that alone is all this, real and unreal at the same time. This is another distinction we make between real and unreal, true and imaginary, fictional and fact. All that exists within the space of consciousness. Form, perception, and also the corresponding concepts that arise in the mind are all pure consciousness, even as whirlpools are in the ocean. Between this and that is the infinite consciousness. It's like the two sides of a coin. Is the coin made up of two sides? They're simply the coin. And we have these two sides. We can't imagine the coin without two sides. But is a coin made up of two sides? It's non-different from the two sides, but I don't think we'd say that a coin is two sides. There are two aspects of the coin, aren't they? This and that, this side and that side. Between this and that is the infinite consciousness. When that is realized without any modification or subtraction whatsoever, it is seen that it alone is, and that there is no world. Then even an attraction and aversion, existence and non-existence, become its own limbs, without in any way affecting the true nature of the consciousness. So the two sides are part of the coin, but they do not affect the nature of the coin. So instead of limbs, we've got sides of the coin. So the coin has two sides. I don't want to push the analogy with the coin too far, but the reality of the coin is actually its monetary value, and not the fact that it's got two sides. That's not what's of interest. So that the reality of the coin is actually abstract. We don't care what the two sides are. We want to know the value, the monetary value of the coin. And the two sides indicate this, but that's not the reality. The reality is the actual monetary value of the coin. So in this way, attraction and aversion, existence and non-existence become the limbs of Brahma, without in any way affecting the true nature of consciousness. Between the two ends is the pure consciousness. The ends are but concepts and do not exist independent of the reality, which is the middle, that is, the essential nature of the infinite self, or consciousness. For that consciousness which exists between this and that, another name is world. This is the identification then between body and world. We're told it's body, and we're told it's the mass of consciousness, and now it's the world. It all depends how you're looking at it. It depends where your sense of reality lies. It depends on your underlying dispositions, your psychological dispositions. Right from the very beginning, the creation has not come into being at all. To say that this world exists as such is pure fiction. It is a pity and it is a tragedy that people say that this world exists, though it does not, and that the Supreme Brahman does not exist, though it alone exists. Our everyday understanding is completely topsy-turvy.